Welcome everybody to another fantastic and fun episode of the High Five Guys with your friends Todd and Chris. It's a glorious day today. That's all I'm going to say. And there are plenty of positive vibes and high fives to share that have happened to us, maybe to you, who knows? But that's what we're here to talk about today. Lots of fun stuff. We're going to kick things off with just like an around the horn, what's new, what's different, what's exciting that's happened since we last caught up with you guys. And today's episode is going to be super fun. It's about concerts. Everybody's got favorite concerts, and I think, Todd, you've got some really cool ones. I can't wait to hear because I actually don't know many of your concerts that you've been to.
I hope they're cool. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed them. I would say they were yeah, a lot of them were, I'll say it this way, a lot of them were surprisingly way better than I expected. Before I went, like, the excitement level was whatever, right? It might have been a 6 out of 10, and I left at like a 9.5. Like, I have a number of them that are like that. So those are probably some good ones to touch on.
Nice. No, that's awesome. And I know you did a whole lot of word vomit, but how are you actually doing? How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I mean, I love your intros. It's always like funny what new words you're gonna throw in and stuff. I mean, the theme is sort of the same, but yeah, you always surprise me with a couple little gems. No, I'm pretty good. Yeah, I was Mother's Day just passed. I was down there. I hadn't seen my mom in a little while, so I was down in good old Tom's River. That's where,
right.
The Jersey Shore, like fist pumping.
Let's go. Lots
that's
of
right.
Italian
that's where I was born and
Americans
raised.
down that way.
yeah. So my mom still lives there. We were down there, met up. It was nice. Just the normal thing. Oh, we got we got Pizza Hut for that was our fancy dinner.
That is awesome.
Yeah, they have those big do you know these dinner boxes? I think that's the name of them.
I think it's heard of them.
I think it's called a dinner. That could be totally wrong, but it's like something like a $30 thing. You get like 2 pizzas, 8 wings, cheesy breadsticks or whatever. It was okay. I mean, actually, yeah, it's an okay deal too. I think it actually weirdly came up a little more than we would have expected. Like somehow it crept way up. We got some extra wings, and suddenly it was actually
inflation.
Expensive. Yeah, it was weirdly expensive, but well, I don't know. I mean, it was okay. It was an okay dinner. So yeah, with my sister's fam and the mom and everything. Yeah,
nice. And so, any job prospects or anything like that come up, or are you still taking some time just to?
Yeah, I'm taking time. Yeah, I'm like actively ignoring stuff. Like my resumes and stuff have been out there for a while. I guess I'll say in my industry, there always seems to be demand. I mean, as a software engineer, just seems like there's always demand. I actively just like ignore calls and emails all the time. I'm connected to a lot of recruiters and things like that. And,
sure.
Yeah, I just haven't started yet. I'm just kind of I'm just finishing this sort of detox. It's not even so much a detox. I mean, another time in my career, I truly did feel like that, where I had gotten into some just a really bad cycle, and I needed it. But I'm just like not immediately rushing in. I'm just enjoying the time. I'm looking for some of these musical gigs. Enjoying the time. I'm not feeling like I have nothing going on yet. I'm not at that phase where it's like I'm just spinning my wheels. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it. Probably another couple of weeks. That's probably this is not going to be forever, but yeah, a couple more weeks and then I'll be back in there.
Yeah, and I think saying that that wasn't to put you on the spot, because I was also out of work for quite some time as well, and I feel like that's why we have vacations. That's why we have paid time off, and hopefully you definitely take that time and put the laptop away, put the cell phone away, work cell phone, etc. So you can rejuvenate. I feel like it does make you a better person.
What, actually, I think it's part of it too. Actually, it's funny. The more I think back, like this is pretty bizarre. I had it was the first time in my life I had this. It was like discretionary time off, essentially. That was the policy there at the company, which basically means, I mean, it's called quote unquote unlimited. I had only ever taken like a half day at a time, or once or twice I did like once like a full day, just did
Yeah,
like a 3-day weekend, and that I'd never taken like a long vacation during the time I was there. Just various things, right? I got all
sure,
this
sure.
music stuff
Yep.
going on, so I have gigs and things. Like it's not like I'm not enjoying life, right? But I just in this like year and a half cycle or
Yeah.
whatever, or almost 2 years, I just happened to have not like taken a big trip or anything like that. So actually that's a bit of a factor as well. The more that I think about it now, psychologically, it's like I'm sort of like taking a vacation
Yeah.
that I hadn't had in a couple years right now. So yeah,
Absolutely. And I know if I hadn't started this new gig, part of my updates, heck, I think we'd be in South America right now.
yeah, yeah,
I, I would love to go. I know we talked about it. So
yeah,
yeah, but it's awesome. No, and
yeah,
I know you do keep your time busy, and you play golf. You're spending time with your mom. You are occupied both mentally and physically. You're doing stuff and not just
yeah.
sitting around.
It
And I
it
think
has
it's
been.
great.
Yeah, there's been
Yeah.
a day or two of like, oh, I'm like binge watching some Netflix show or something, but it actually hasn't been a lot of those. I've like I think, though you string together too many of those and you really start feeling like, oh my God, I lost something. Like you really feel bummy. I just haven't felt like that. It's always, there's been things to break it up. I've just been doing things, and yeah, so it hasn't felt like that yet.
Nice. Awesome. And I mean, I would say for me, the update since we've last talked, I was down also in the Poconos for the Mother's Day weekend, actually, really just for Saturday to look at my house, my property down there. After the long-term renters were there, there are some things that need to be fixed, adjusted, tweaked, and I met some contractors. And the best part was two, we'll call it different contractors. One was geared just to the fireplace. What am I even talking about? Not the fireplace. One was geared towards the roof, and another one was geared towards general contracting. And they both knew each other, which is
Oh,
great. So I think
okay.
in that community, yeah, he's like, oh, Ralph, how's your pacemaker? I know you just had something put in. It's like
Uh-oh.
I feel great.
Uh-oh.
So he's doing the roof. I haven't made a decision yet on what needs to be done. I was taking more an assessment, go through each
I
of the
mean,
rooms and the
yeah, well,
outside.
have you found out like, oh geez, what that weird bubble on your roof is? Do you at
Both
least
of
like have the
them,
diagnosis?
yeah. So both of them, there is a bulge in my roof, in the back of the roof. It's noticeable. If you see a photo of it, you'll definitely be like, wait, what's that? That's not normal.
Yeah.
And they said it was really due to age. So the roof is
Oh.
probably closer to 20 years old. And
Oh, it wasn't some kind of, weird your fireplace is backed up,
yeah,
or
that's
the
what I
chimney's backed up or whatever. Okay.
not that I was hoping it was that, but uh, sort of I was saying it can't be the roof. I never heard of this issue before, and I know roofs do need to be replaced every so often. It was something where the fireplace and where that issue is not correlated, and they said it's just probably
Oh.
the plywood that wasn't nailed down correctly, and over time it
Okay.
just came back up.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
though, what was a little bit of a sticker shock. So I have done regular or basic maintenance to the house over the last few years too with them there. If there's an appliance that needs to be fixed, I've got it done. Do the gutters,
Yeah.
basic sort of stuff. I mean, otherwise they'll let me know if something's going on. And the cost of doing everything to really get the house back to where it needs to be is probably something where, because there was limited involvement with the house over the last few years, and I didn't repaint this, or I didn't replace this in the bathroom, this fixture or whatnot, that it all adds up at once. And so
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the quote
Okay.
the quote they gave me was a little bit high.
Okay. Yeah.
High in terms of just like, wow, it's a lot. And then if you want to
Yeah. Like,
replace the roof, it's another
okay. Yeah. So you're
six,
just
seven,
taking
8 grand.
this whole hit all at once. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So long story short, I plan on either renting the house out again or selling it, and I am just trying to go through the numbers and getting a assessment on what the property could be sold at the current time. So more to come.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'll be curious to hear. Well, people will be curious to hear long term, maybe.
And the other big thing was that, well, over the weekend as well, I did see my dad. I saw my sister, my nephew, which was really fun. So where my house is in the Poconos, my family don't live too far away. So it was really nice to spend the rest of the day with them after meeting the contractors. And I actually even got to see a good friend of mine who I haven't seen probably in about 2 years. He met me at the house as well. And, you know, we hung out, we talked, and it was really cool. So that was awesome.
Cool.
And then last week I did start a new gig. So I did start a consulting opportunities, finance consulting opportunity with a medical company. And it started on Thursday, mailed me my laptop. So far, so good. I will say today was a little bit more of a, difficult day just with getting up to speed on some of the requests and just how they do business, ultimately is what I should say. But a lot of Excel. So if you are a fan of Excel, this is a good role for you. They have a couple systems in place, but ultimately when they do their analysis, it does go in Excel. They use lots of pivot tables, lots of queries in the background. Excel can do some fun stuff and fun magic. So that's what I'm continuing to.
You know what's interesting about that? I just thought of this now. You were telling me about it before, but the fact that they're based in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that actually makes sense. That's a very tech-driven town because of MIT being right there. Boston Dynamics, whatever else. It's a very techy. It's a very like high tech kind of area. Like on the East Coast, it's probably one of the tech meccas on the East Coast. The way that like Stanford and stuff is for the West Coast.
Yeah. That's a great point. And when you hear or think about medical companies, biotech companies, et cetera, they are in that whole Boston metro area.
There's a whole cluster that just like hires the class that comes out of Harvard and MIT, which are all right there in that little that's probably the best higher education cluster on the planet.
Yeah,
it's got to be. You got Harvard and MIT within like a mile of each other. Like there's nothing that beats that.
Sure. And very smart people in the organization as well. I know this role that I'm in is more behind the scenes. So there might be an interaction with a team member here or there, but a lot of it is behind the scenes, finance, Excel modeling, board presentation, things of that nature, getting the data to tell the right story that we want to the broader organization.
Yeah. Cool.
So, getting my feet wet in terms of a consulting opportunity.
Cool.
Very excited, very fortunate. And I will say the staffing agency was great and has still been great after I started my job, just on connecting. How are things going? Do you have everything you need? So very happy with that. So
cool.
Really cool.
All right.
Really update. Cool. I think it's a great segue for what we want to talk about now, which is even more fun, right? Updates are fun. Concerts. What do you think? Like, concerts are, I would say, one of the cornerstones. I feel like going to the movies. People love going to concerts and seeing their favorite bands perform. I think it's been fun. I've seen a few really good bands or good performances. I think what you said earlier too, there were concerts or performances where maybe you didn't think it was going to be good and it was actually better than you thought. I'd love to hear some of those. So are you ready to share?
Yeah. I'll throw a few in, and then maybe you throw a few in, and then maybe I'll throw a couple more in or something. But so I guess I'll go back to just my very first one, right? So the very first one I went to, again, I'm pretty old. But
we're the same age.
Well, I'm a few years older, but for anyone who just, I don't know, like anyone my age would definitely know this history, but maybe younger people wouldn't know. But Nirvana, right, was originally Nirvana, going back to whatever late '80s and then into '92 or '93, I think it is, when Kurt Cobain, tragically killed himself, and that was just like the icon of that era. But basically, they, after his death, the remaining members essentially became the Foo Fighters. right? So
Wow. Okay. See, I didn't even know that.
oh yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm like. I think anyone my age would probably know if you were into the grunge scene at all. You would almost definitely know that. But yeah, it was essentially so. There's this guy Chris Novoselic, who's like a bassist or guitarist, something like that. Dave Grohl. I mean, I think everyone knows Dave Grohl was like believe drum. I'm gonna get this stuff wrong, but I think drummer. And there's another guy, I forget the other guy's name, but then there was Kurt Cobain, that was Nirvana. But like those remaining guys, I don't even think they added anyone. I think they became Foo Fighters, and Dave Grohl just like magically became this singer, and they went on to be super successful. A very different kind of band than Nirvana was, right? I mean nobody was Nirvana like that. They were the sound of their whole era, but that was my first concert. It was in New York City, so I was running in some like pretty nerdy circles at the time. I had like some guys that my mom just weirdly reminded me of this somehow, like over the weekend. I don't know how it came up with my mom, but she reminded me like, yo, I remember those like computer game guys you met up with? I was like, yeah, that was this Foo Fighters concert. So those guys, I played incredible. Like an online role playing type game. So it was, whatever. It's your current, I don't even, what's the best current Warcraft type thing. That's not really current enough now, but going back 10 years ago, it would be like the Warcraft of its day. But it was all like text based. Even that's how old I am.
No, that's even better.
Yeah, but I met up with those guys, and that was how I went to this concert. It was New York City, like in right around Times Square, and this is like seedy Times Square. This is when Times Square was a different place. So
it wasn't like Madison Square Garden. It was like a Webster Hall.
No, so it was a theater. It was a
okay.
Yeah, it was like it was one of your theaters where there are like the balconies and stuff, and I think we were up in like the balcony area. There was a lower zone below us. There was some terrible opening act. I don't remember what it was, but it was like very early in Foo Fighters' career. Like it was like whatever. It was probably like their third concert or something like that. But it was good. It was good. It was really loud. It was real loud. But it was good. Like that was an experience. So that was my very first one. I thought that was cool. I guess a few years later, a next one I did would be I'm gonna get the name wrong, but it was in the when it was called the Garden State Arts Center, right? Which now called that's PNC Bank Arts Center now.
Off so it was the Parkway.
Right off the Jersey Parkway on one of your exits. That was called Garden State Arts Center, and it was like a hip hop concert. So it was like it may have been a Funkmaster Flex thing, maybe was the overall host, possibly, but it was Public Enemy, Wyclef Jean, Maya, Proswell. It was right when like Ghetto Superstar came out, and that was like the #1 song. And now here comes out like Proswell and Maya, Wyclef and all this stuff. And DMX was there. Yeah. DMX was there. I will say just some of the highlights. Like, I mean, a lot of people were great. They really were very good, very, very good entertainers. Public Enemy, Flavor Flav came out with his clock chain, came out riding a bicycle, like a kid's bike. He just came out on a kid's bike, riding around like you were drunk or something. Like hilarious. I mean, just hilarious. Yeah. And then they just went into like Fight the Power or whatever, like right into that, something like that.
That is wow.
And then like entrances. This concert was filled with amazing entrances. Wyclef, he came out of the crowd. Everybody just sees this guy in like sweatpants, sweatsuit or whatever, and sweat hoodie and stuff, and you're watching this guy like clearly at a certain point he's like coming out of the crowd and you're like, what's going on, what's this dude, you just think some dude, and he jumps up on stage and he starts doing backflips and stuff. He's literally doing like gymnastics, like round off back handspring or something, and then all of a sudden he like throws the hoodie off and you're like, oh wow, that's Wyclef. And I would say he was one of the, at the time of that, he was probably one of the biggest stars of that event.
So
that
funny
was
enough,
awesome intro, and yeah, and then DMX. I think DMX might have closed it out, but DMX was awesome too. So yeah.
I will say Maya is coming to upstate New York with Monica and Case in about a month.
Oh wow. Yeah, I would go to it. I mean, she puts on a good show. I coincidentally, I'll jump to just one last one, but I saw her in Atlantic City as well in a really intimate setting, like a 500 person type club, and I was literally very front row, like
Yep.
standing up. Everybody was standing up in that area, and
Oh, that's awesome.
she's like
Yep.
this far away. She talked to us at one point. I was with my XXX at the time, and yeah, she literally like talked to us at one point. So it was that was great too. Oh, okay. I triggered a few, but I'll let you go with a couple. But yeah, I have others in between those that I missed. But yeah, so let's
no,
hear
this
some
is great.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a whole bunch. I mean, I have a few more too, but this is awesome. It's jogging up some good memories. So my very first concert was, I think I was like 16 at the time. So I did not go when I was, super young, but it was a radio station 20th anniversary concert. And they had it in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area at the time in Pennsylvania. But the headliner was the Wallflowers, who my mom really liked at the time. And I was super excited because Eve 6 was there. And so it was like Wallflowers, Eve 6.
Okay.
There's a few other either singers, artists, whatever. It was good. Like I had a good time. I didn't know what to expect with a concert. And it was my mom, it was myself, my sister, my best friend at the time. I think there were maybe two. His sister was there, 6 of us or so, and it was great. It actually was good. Mom was super excited about the Wallflowers. She really liked Bob Dylan. I think he was, yeah.
That's when it's Jacob Dylan. Yeah, his son. Yeah.
And then I really liked Eve 6, so I was super excited. Kind of punky-ish stage in my life at the time, rounding out high school. So after that, when I was at college, I then went to see Incubus and then Good Charlotte in the same year. So you could still see like a punky type theme.
Yeah.
And
that's why you like that Incubus song for like karaoke, right? Is that where that? Yeah, that's where that came from. Okay, that adds up now.
It's a good one. And Good Charlotte, my Bloody Valentine, I think I really like that song. I had highlights in my hair. I was ready.
Nice.
At Penn State, so that was both at Penn State, and there was one other at Penn State which was phenomenal. Nelly and the Saint Lunatics.
Wow. Okay.
So going to your hip hop theme too, I was, I started getting into, rap a little bit, hip hop, EDM, some dance music, whatever. But Nelly, I love this song. Country Grammar was just phenomenal. And then so I started listening to some more.
He owned like for that year or two. Like people, a lot of people might not remember whatever, but he was like the guy for like a year or two there.
Yeah.
He was the top of the charts.
Just fantastic. And it was a really great show. And the Saint Lunatics were there. So I had their album. I need to go find it because I know I have it somewhere still. Just rapping it like every song, knowing the lyrics, and everybody else singing it. It was really cool.
And it sounded good. Fun. Like it held up to like the recorded versions or whatever.
Yeah, I would say it was pretty good because that was my first rap concert. And sometimes you hear rappers, watch some social media clips, and it's not good.
Yeah,
that could be other artists too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, whatever. I don't want to say too much of I'm being a musician myself, but I know for sure it's in terms of different genres to sing and whatever else. Like rap is pretty tough. It's one of the harder ones. Rock scream type singing, I would say, is really hard too. Aerosmith type stuff, but rap is actually really hard too.
Yeah, and so I enjoyed it. That was a great concert. And then my just next two, and then I'll kick it back to you. This is actually really fun. First concert outside of college I saw was Paulina Rubio.
Okay.
And I have to give a shout out. I don't know how this is going to come up. Yeah, that's what my shirt says, Moy Cookie. And then on the back, it says Paulina Rubio. I don't know if you can see that.
Wow. Yep. Yeah, I see
But
it.
I still
Yep.
have it. So this is a circa 2006 shirt.
Now
that
I
still
don't
have.
even remember, let's say, like a single song. I remember her existing. Is that like a song? Moi Cookie? Is that a song? Or?
No, I don't
Oh.
even know what it was. I just know
Oh.
that means like very cookie. Unless it's something derived. I don't know. I don't know.
Very cookie. That's pretty hilarious. Yeah, I like right now I can't even picture what she looks like or anything, but I know the name. Yeah. Okay.
So I was just, and I'm still very fascinated by culture, and you know, Latin culture in particular. I used to watch the Telemundo all the time. The telenovelas were great. I mean, you know, that's a whole nother topic, right? But it was great, and so I knew some of the songs, and I was kind of singing my best, but other ones I didn't know. I will say the one song that you may know or you should listen to it afterwards is called "Io Sigo Aquí."
Wow.
So
Okay.
Io
I bet if I hear it, I
Aquí.
probably
Yeah.
have heard it. Yeah. I know I would know at least one song for it, but like there's no way I could like come up with it. But yeah.
So that was in 06. It was at the Music Box in Atlantic City. So it was in the Borgata, I think, wherever that is. It's a similar like small venue.
Yeah.
And then
wait,
rounding out.
Wait, sorry. Mine. Like when I saw Maya, that might have been the Borgata too. That's what's called Music Box. Yeah, I think we might have been Borgata actually. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's the fancy at the time.
Theater,
That was
and it has the balcony and stuff around, and
it might be the same one. I haven't been there since that concert.
Okay. Yeah. We might have been in the same venue. Interesting. Okay.
And then after that, so the next year, I saw one of my favorite performances to date, Justin Timberlake. So it was just him. It was not NSYNC.
Totally forgot you went to that. Yeah, okay.
And just a phenomenal singer, phenomenal performer. It really took the concert, you know, watching and just experience to another level was the way that he really just performed each song and you know gave it his all, and just was the energy behind it was just fantastic. So Justin Timberlake still, I would say, probably in my top 3 all-time concert performances.
Okay, cool. Yeah, right behind Broken Builds, right?
I mean, listen, I don't want to. There's a limited time. I've only seen or heard a handful of performances and songs, and I like what I hear. So it's quite possible it could be.
Okay, you know what definitely triggered for me was when you jumped in when you said college. I totally forgot that's when I meant to talk. I had a whole series of stuff in college. So you know my buddy Denny, who I actually grew up with like around the corner from me, also went to Rutgers and was like my roommate through, you know, most of Rutgers. He was good about finding the stuff, and we both like found a few, but I think he found more of it. But there was a lot of good concerts that came to Rutgers. Stuff you've heard of, right? And the crazy thing was they would be in these like smaller settings. You know, it wasn't like you're going in there in like the football stadium. It wasn't like that. It was like they were in student centers and stuff, and the gym, like the smaller, you know, basketball gym. And so there was a series of really good stuff that came in. So I don't know if you remember like Porno for Pyros, which it was originally Jane's Addiction.
I can't believe like these bands went from, you know, one thing to another. I've heard of both. You know, I heard of Jane's Addiction. Yeah. The Porno for Pirates I've heard of. I couldn't name a song.
That's one of the ones. That's one of the top tier ones of like where I wasn't really a fan going in. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll go. You know, my buddy had found it, right? And it was like, yeah, I'll go. There's a concert, sure. You know, Saturday night or something like. Rutgers actually a lot of times it was a pretty ghost townish on the weekends because a lot of people like commute in. It's something like Penn State might be different, right? Like where maybe there's way more people who hang around, but you know, it got pretty ghosty. Like, you know, the nights really were like Thursdays and Fridays. Those are like the bigger nights. But it was Saturday night. It was like, yeah, let's do it. And we went to this, at the time, Porno for Pyros. Yeah, they had become Porno for Pyros, and I don't know the exact composition of it, whatever. I think there was some kind of mashup. Like, it wasn't the exact same guys, whatever. But it was like the lead singer, this guy Perry Farrell. I went in not expecting that much. This was in our gym. This is in the gym that's like a 2,500, 3,000, person gym on the main on College Ave campus. So not even like where the big basketball games were played. I forget, like, you would see volleyball and things like that, but it wasn't even like the big basketball court.
Yeah, and so it's just smaller arena.
Yeah, and another where it's just this whatever mosh pit type setup. Not that people were mosh pitting, but like, it's the standing zone in the groundlings area. And we were in there and we were front center. We were as close to it as you could possibly be. It was similar thing, like the distance I was from Maya, whatever. We were there from like this Perry Farrell dude.
Yeah.
And he was just an amazing performer. Like, it was like, he has this sort of otherworldly type thing where it's just like some guy who was just dropped down off a spaceship. And whether you love the songs or not, he was just so into it. It was such a, like, he had such a commitment to like what he was doing. I mean, he was probably on stuff too. I mean, I'm not going to make accusations, whatever. But
yeah,
probably. But he was so committed to like what he was doing that it was, you like got lost in the performance. It was awesome. And I left, and I, next thing I knew, I was like a bit of a fan of them, and I liked their songs more. Yeah, so that was really cool. Another one I saw in that exact same gym was Cherry Poppin' Daddies. Do you remember them?
I know them. I couldn't name a song. I definitely know the name.
There was that moment where Swing was huge. Dude, it was Cherry Poppin' Daddies, and there was like,
is it who sings Zoot Suit Riot?
Suit Riot. I think that was them.
Okay,
I believe that was them. Yeah, and like Michael Fronte was also there, who I didn't know at all at the time. I now know, and like has these awesome, if you know his song like The Sound of Sunshine, and I forget. There's another better. Well, there's another one that's also known, but like, they're like fun songs you'll hear in like movies and stuff, like in a montage when people are doing like uplifting stuff. Yeah, so that was in that same place, and it was awesome. People were swing dancing for the whole thing, like their energy was infectious again, and it was just like you went away like a way bigger fan of like their whole vibe than you had going in. And another one I saw was oh my god, no, it's not called Filter. Oh my god, what were they called? Blur?
Ooh,
no.
Filter. Song 2?
No, I have the wrong band. It's further back in time.
Radiohead.
In that era, in the actual like grunge era, but they were less known. But they were awesome. They were in the student center on another campus, just in the student. And this place held even less. Held maybe like 600 people or 300 people, and we were in there. And the dude again, we were front row. The dude's right there. Like we had these incredible like.
That's awesome.
Front row
cool
concert experiences with like people you've seen on MTV and stuff, like well-known bands. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was my college career of there was others, but that was some that were worth talking about.
Exactly. I have a feeling even after the podcast, right? You'd be like, oh wow, I totally forgot about this concert.
More. Yeah, I think my number is pretty high actually. Yeah.
So what about anything more recent? Was there anything like, let's say after college, 2010s?
One I could touch on. I mean, we went to that one, right? What was that called? Kelly Clarkson, Roger
Live
Waters.
Aid.
Live Aid. Oh, that was Live Aid. Yeah. Leo DiCaprio was there.
He made an appearance.
Yeah. I thought Roger Waters was really good, right? From Pink Floyd. Towards the end, that was cool.
Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson.
The whole day.
Slade.
It was.
We were there a long time.
We tailgated.
Yeah.
We got sunburned.
Yeah. We were there a whole day.
Some of our other friends were there. Like it was actually just we made a whole day out of it. and
We
that's a
we had
great
couples
experience.
getting in fights with each other. We had the whole gamut of emotions. um, yeah, that was fun. So that was one. I guess more recently too. I went to Muse. Um, that was in like
I
Newark.
hear they put a good show
Oh,
together.
crazy. Yeah, their production value was crazy. You know, they just have it's like, you know, just I don't know, hard to describe. Pedestals rising up in the air and like the
Yeah.
guitarist is suddenly 100 feet in the air and lasers and like just like in a cool way, like smoke and like it was
Yep.
very artistic. It was really, really artistic. I
Awesome.
have wait, let me think. Actually, I'll kick it to you for more modern. I know I have. I had U2. I saw U2 at Mass. That was very good. Madison Square Garden. But I have a more recent one. I'm not thinking of it at the moment, but I'll send it to you, and I'm sure
Okay.
I'll think of it in the meantime.
Yeah. Yeah. I had maybe a couple year hiatus, you know, with work, everything. I didn't go to any concerts, but in the 2010s, I had some good ones. One of them was great. It was right in Camden, New Jersey. You know, a very safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
No, a little joking. Like, every place has got like good things and bad things.
Yeah.
Camden, you know, maybe not the best spot, but it was a T-Pain and Nicki Minaj concert.
Oh wow! You went to T-Pain.
And it was spectacular.
Wow. I mean, for me, T-Pain now after his NPR Tiny Desks and that show he did recently where he was just singing Tennessee Whiskey and like Journey and stuff like that guy, he's an unbelievable vocalist.
It was just really amazing. And like him and Nicki, they actually even performed a song together. I'm forgetting what it was, but it was a really great
I had
experience to
no
see
clue
both of
they
them
were
there.
ever together. That is pretty interesting. I mean that's pretty great. Yeah, I definitely
That's
would have
it.
seen that.
Yeah. And I saw that with my best friends, and like we just had a great time, and being able, I think really with concerts, to sing along with the artist too, and just
Yeah.
give it your all, like you are there 110%. I think is amazing. And I know nowadays, like Taylor Swift, you know,
Yeah.
if you go to one of her concerts, the crowd is just unreal with how
Okay.
into it
Yeah,
they are.
yeah.
So I've never gone to a T Swift concert. I know some Swifties out there,
Yeah.
but that's one I haven't been to. But T-Pain, Nicki was great.
Wow.
And
I would say Nicki Minaj real quick. Like I have to say I was surprised by her when I saw just some YouTube video not too long ago, within the last year or so, of her just singing. She's pretty good. Did she do any like just singing? I was stunned. I had no clue. I just randomly ran into it the one day. You know, people were like, "Did you know Nicki Minaj can sing?" And I'm like, whatever. Yeah, sure. And I listened. I was like,
yeah,
oh, this
sing
is
with air quotes.
yeah. I mean, it's not Ariana Grande or it's it's not whatever. It's not Whitney Houston or something, but it's pretty good. Like
It's
it
good.
was yeah.
Yeah. And I think a lot of artists too probably not sound better than we think, but maybe we don't give them enough credit.
Like T-Pain.
If they're on their own. Yeah.
T-Pain's a great that's two undercover like pretty like actually he's a great vocalist. I think she's probably good, but yeah, he's an undercover like great vocalist. He can sing anything.
Wow. And see, like it is a little while back. I don't necessarily remember if he did anything, sort of off the cuff,
on auto-tuned,
whatever.
Yeah. That's he was almost hiding it or something all that time. But yeah, he's weirdly good.
Yeah, it was spectacular. So then there was a local concert I saw in Allentown with Cruella. Is a band.
Okay, I know the name. I don't know if I
know
know a song or whatever. I know the name. Yeah.
So Alive is their number one song. You would know it if you searched and heard it. Heard it. That's good English. There's my SAT coming out. What a really cool performance! It was in someplace in Bethlehem, the Arts Quest. It was a smaller type venue where you could watch it from above, but it had you came up to Saratoga that one time to that coffee shop, right? And there's that above gallery, and then they got that below section where you got just tables to sit at. it felt kind of like that. Now, obviously, that's very small. It was a bit bigger than this, but similar feel where I felt like any seat was a good seat. And we got to meet the band members afterwards.
Oh, wow.
So these two women who I found attractive at the time. So the music that helped, but the music was also really good. It's kind of like vocal. It's not at all vocal trance. I'd love to maybe electronic, like a kind of like a punky electronic type of band. But both Jahan and Yazzie were really cool to talk to, and I got a photo of both of them. And funny enough, I ran into Yazzie in New York City years later, and I said, like, I had a great time at your concert. Joe and I and her parents were in New York City just to meet, once a year, and to randomly run into her in the city
where
was
was
just
that?
like such a 58th and 7th.
Just on the street.
On the street.
And it was undeniable. Like, it was so, like,
100%.
She's just walking around like a normal person, like just
100%.
Nothing unusual, just her by herself. Oh, that's funny.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And we took a selfie. I'll have to.
Wow.
I can share that with you.
And
but
she was just super
great.
cool about it and everything. Like,
yeah.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
She was just coming out of yoga. She's like, I was at yoga.
How did you approach it? What did you just like went over and were like, oh, yo, you're Yazzie.
It was kind of starstruck, like you're Yasmin from Cruella, aren't you? She goes, yeah. It's like, I saw you in Allentown.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, that's different.
So one more share I have, and then I'll send it back to you. I went to a 3-day Electric Daisy Music Carnival concert at East Rutherford in 2012. And that was one of the most crazy experiences that I've ever been to in my life. So for those unfamiliar, they do certainly some like multi-day concerts. You think like Bonnaroo, or you think out in what's the one, Coachella.
Yeah.
Right. That's several days. The first year, EDC, so Electric Daisy Carnival, said we're going to do a 3-day concert in East Rutherford, so just outside New York City, and we're going to bring all the top electronic artists that you'll know. David Guetta, Armin van Buuren.
Oh wow.
Who's the guy that passed away?
Oh, Avicii.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
And there were these were like some of the headliners that were each night, and they had 4 or 5 different stages. Just the lights, the whole production was unbelievable as to what they did. And mind you, I really wanted to see Armin van Buuren, one of my favorite artists of all time, and he closed out the show on, I think it was Saturday night of the 3 days, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I was just in heaven. It was a 2-hour set that was just spectacular. We saw a portion of it from one of the carousels that they had, because they had all these different, let's say, games and different things that you can ride and just experiences during the whole 3 days. There were also people probably doing some illegal stuff that we saw.
Yeah.
I did not partake, but it was crazy. And I lost like 10 pounds because I just danced the whole day. Like, you were just nonstop dancing and just singing, just having a good time. And we went for 3 days straight, and
it was like 3-4 stages, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, 3-4 stages. You could walk inside the stadium or outside the stadium. They were scattered throughout the parking lot, and the concerts went from noon to midnight every day.
Wow, crazy! Yeah, that's
Carl
pretty cool.
Cox, like whomever. I mean, there's so many people,
but just without all the like mud storms and stuff, right? Of what do you call it?
A much drier experience.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm blanking on the name now. You know what I'm talking about?
Fire? That Fire Festival?
No, no. There's also the not Joshua. Well, Joshua Tree is the location. Burning Man. Something like Burning Man. You know, they had like the crazy mud storms this year. It was wild. They got flooded.
Absolutely.
And they said it was just a total disaster.
You're right. Not like that.
Yeah.
It was actually quite hot.
Yeah.
This was towards the end of May, but it was mid 80s and I think sunny every day. Like it was toasty. Dash Berlin was there, and I still love Dash Berlin. I mean, just spectacular. Sorry, that was a rant, but that was an unbelievable experience.
Oh, that's cool. That's I've been to some various festivals. I think not quite on that level. Wait, oh my God, I'm trying to think. I'm starting to like blank on some stuff. I know, like I have plenty of other good ones. I almost feel like I could come back to like a round two. We could probably come back to this topic at some point because I think I could jog the memory, and I know it was like there's a bunch of other ones, and I don't want to just like randomly fire them off. I could like have good stories to go with them.
Yeah.
Because I know I definitely I went to Aerosmith. I mean, that's an example. That's one. That was nice. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I'll do two more then. So, and this actually is still. There's a couple more recent ones. I'm blanking on the more recent ones, but I'm remembering it. So Aerosmith also at Camden.
Yep.
I believe they were there. Oh, I can't remember who they were with, but like great concert. You know, just played the hits.
Yeah.
You know that. Tough singing, right? Steven Tyler, amazing voice. Like that's unbelievable male singing.
The range is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, that kind of try to sing some of their songs. It's like singing Journey or Bon Jovi or whatever. It's crazy hard to sing.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's one. That was great. They were awesome. And like I saw Radiohead / Alanis Morissette.
Wow.
Radiohead was
I'm a huge fan.
Radiohead was the opener to Alanis Morissette. That's how big
I
she
like
was
Alanis
at the time.
Morissette.
It was good.
Wow.
It was good. My buddy and I were like trying to be like self-respecting, like, you know, cool dudes in the time. Like we were back in high school, actually. It was high school. And so we were like, we're here for Radiohead. I mean, secretly, like, I think we both loved like the Alanis part as well.
Yeah.
But as like cool dudes, whatever, like we were there for Radiohead. But that was good. It was good throughout. That was a great concert. That was Madison Square Garden. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have a couple others. Yeah, like I could definitely
do a round two.
Yeah, I feel like we can come back to this. I have more I could go tap into. Yeah.
I will say, most recent concert. Do you know who you saw?
Oh. That's kind of what I'm blanking on. Yeah, I know I have one. I'm just I'm blanking on it. Yeah, that's what I'm blanking on. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It's just
I saw Zach Brown Band last year. So in summertime, August, I think, time frame. And I didn't know what to expect really. I actually only knew one of their songs, that Chicken Fried.
Yeah.
Rice
They're
or
fun.
something like that.
Yeah.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
So didn't really go in with much expectations. I just know they're good. But the crowd was super, like they loved it. And there were certainly some songs that came on and just, you know, they went nuts. And definitely, I would say a younger type crowd. Middle-aged or older. It was interesting going to that because my best friends and I we're all like, you know, 40-ish, right? All around the same age. And I would say probably the demographic was mid-20s.
Oh, really? Wow.
It was a young group.
I wouldn't have quite expected that. That's interesting. Wow.
A lot of people. I mean, there were people that were older. There were people that, you know.
No, I would have on average.
I
would have expected slightly older. That's interesting. Okay.
It felt like that's everybody I saw there were much younger.
Wow.
And so just different way of carrying themselves. I remember when I was that young.
Yeah. Huh.
Zach Brown. So, yeah, I mean, happily, we probably could do another episode with concerts.
I've already thought of some, but I don't want to like keep dragging.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like we can come back to it. Yeah.
And if you're listening out there or watching us, feel free in the comments, you know, leave us a comment, whatever, you know, what are some of your favorite concerts or you know, artists that you've seen or worst experiences? Maybe you had some really bad ones, right? we touched on some good stuff, but maybe you had just a really fun concert experience. Share that with us. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to do some back and forth with our fans and
Maybe
listeners
you went
out
to
there.
Fire Festival. That would be a good story.
If you did, absolutely, we'd love to have you on the show.
With Fire Festival stories. That would be incredible.
I mean, did you see the documentary?
Yeah, I saw 2 of them. Yeah, they were both great.
I mean, it's unfortunate because I feel like generally we expect, the best out of everybody and just believe everybody and what they say. I mean, if you haven't heard about the Fire Festival, go, search on the internet. Go, I think Netflix, one of those,
Yeah.
You have to see the experience because it was something to forget, unfortunately, for anybody who bought tickets there. Just sad.
Interesting
honestly.
story. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that brings us to some high fives of the week. And you know what? I'm gonna go first this time.
Okay. Yep.
Because I let you go first. I'm being selfish. I'm gonna go first. I feel like it's a good one, but there's no but. This is my high five of the week. Goes out to a Pittsburgh Steelers pitcher, Paul Skeens. Could be saying his name completely wrong.
They have a pitcher?
Definitely. No, they definitely don't. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay. I thought you were going back to like 1920s baseball or something, and they were originally the Steelers. Okay, gotcha.
That's right. Gosh, man, that's how today's gone today. It's really felt like a whirlwind. I've been sitting for maybe 10 hours too long.
Gotcha. Yep.
No, it's been a long day.
Okay.
Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher. So Paul Skeens just recently called up, and they added to their bullpen. And this guy, he's young. I think this is his first year. He was just drafted last year, and his first time he's getting called up. And apparently that's what happens a lot in Major League Baseball. You get drafted, you're in the minor leagues for a couple of years, but he gets called up, and he said he's going to donate $100 to the Gary Sinise Foundation for every strikeout he does.
Wow.
Now, on the surface, people were hating on him because they're like, it's $100 a strikeout. You can't do any more. And I immediately, just when I was reading it, the first thing that came to my mind, I didn't read any comments. I didn't, go into all that stuff. I said, that's very generous. Like, you want to hear positive stuff. I don't know how many people are actually doing that in whatever sports where every bucket I make, I'm going to donate this. I thought it was very genuine for a young major league player who doesn't have a huge salary to say, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I mean, it's foundation. The guy who just got called up. That's a real key part of this story. He just got called up. Yeah,
he just got called up.
He's not a $25 million a year salary guy or something.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And some people were saying, hey, that's fantastic. Like, great, kudos. And some people were just, picking on him, for not donating more.
It's not enough.
I think, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Whatever.
Drawing attention
to
it. Like even the act of drawing attention to it. I mean, I don't know exactly what that fund is, but I imagine it's a good cause. But even just drawing attention to it, somebody else is probably going to be like piggybacking on that as well. You probably hear,
that's right,
stories of someone else throwing more in or something. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it's a great idea. It's a great cause. They do stuff for veterans. The Gary Sinise Foundation.
Okay.
Yep. And you know what? I mean, kudos, hats off to you, Paul. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, don't let the haters, get to you. I think it's great. And now it's actually even encouraged me to say, maybe I've got a small amount. Maybe there's something I could donate to for whatever. I don't know, every mile I run, every something to that effect. So thank you very much, Paul.
Every 10,000 subscribers to our podcast, we do something.
We will donate.
Or maybe that number should be like 5 every time. Like,
so
5
every 5 new subscribers, I'll do a donation. We'll come up with maybe a charity, but you know what? That could be something fun.
We should do that. I
for the next 30 days.
Be in on that. Oh, for 30 days.
Yep.
Okay. I
don't know. We'll see.
That's nice.
We'll see.
I like that's a good one. I will go this time with, it's probably not my strongest hi-fi. It's not bad though. I will go with Sam Ash, the music store.
All right, tell me.
So yeah, so it's a long-term you know, establishment, right? Like they're well known. They've been doing it. Like I think it's probably, when you're talking about like buying guitars and live music type stuff, whatever, it's probably them and Guitar Center. I think that's got to be number one. They must, I'd imagine they're the number two. I think Guitar Center would be the number one. I don't know if there's another one
Okay.
out there hiding somewhere. As far as what I know, these are like, the names. They're going out of business. Like, so it started with,
Okay.
it started with some stores closing, but it's now like a couple weeks ago I heard, like, it's like a nationwide thing. They're all closing. I will say, like, I actually hadn't been to them that much. I've been buying stuff like crazy over the last year. I usually go to Guitar Center. Sam Ash was a little farther away from me, just happened to be. So
Yeah.
So my
Yep.
my hometown thing was like Guitar Center. Awesome place though. Like, you go in there, like these music, there's such a great vibe. You go in, they just want you to like play anything, use any instruments, all this stuff, right? It's just, I think it's really cool. It's filled with like really cool people who, it's always filled with musicians who can give you like real advice on things. The only thing I'll say is this supposed like blowing out the inventory sale going on has been pretty underwhelming. So I went first like 2 weeks ago, like a day or two after they first announced it. And it's, everything is like anything I would have actually cared about. All amps, 5% off. Guitars, 5% off. I saw a couple things, some speakers here and there, 10% off. But like, it really hasn't amounted to much. Like, it's such, it's free tax or something, you could essentially say, right? That's essentially what it's come down to. I thought, I gave it a couple weeks, right? And so, I was down at my mom's place, and I on my way back up north, I went out of my way to like stop by again. I'm like, oh, it probably changed a little bit by now. They're probably getting a little more desperate or something. Didn't change at all. They got all these signs on the outside where they're like, we're blowing out the inventory, right? The outdoor signs are like, everything must go. Literally says that.
Like, this is a sale. Like, you were going to get some good
everything's got to
deals,
go. You go inside and it's, I mean, it's, like I said, it's like a rounding error that you're saved. Like, not even enough to motivate you to buy anything. So, whatever. It's sort of a little bit of a backhanded high five, but maybe eventually, maybe there will be some real blowout sales at a certain point, and then I'll have a new assessment.
Okay. No, let's hope, Sam Ash, if you're hearing, just maybe bump up those sales just a little bit more. Round it to the nearest.
Yeah, maybe 10%, maybe 15% off an amp. I might have had a new amp in my hand already. So
nice.
Five's not doing it.
No, well, we'll get there. Maybe what they should do is you should spin the wheel like they do in Price is Right, and you could get anywhere between 5 to 100% off.
That would be cool.
Spin the
wheel. That would be way cooler than what I've experienced so far. I mean, like so they've continued with just their general coolness, but this sale has not been the wave.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And, with that, what you see behind us, that really expensive sign that we had in our last episode that was falling down, that stayed the whole episode up.
Seriously repaired. Yeah, big upgrade.
Yeah, for those listening, it is a very unbelievable one-of-one handcrafted HighFiveGuys sign with the logo cut out. I mean, I can't believe how nice.
I think the first couple of HighFiveGuy episodes allowed us to purchase some glue, a glue stick. So we're putting that to good use.
Thank you so much for tuning in. For everybody who's listening to us on some of the podcast streams, for those that are watching us on YouTube, thank you so much just for your energy, just tuning into us. You could tune into so many different things, like trucks going uphill or marble racing, which is actually kind of fun watching it,
or hydraulic press show, just hydraulic press, just smashing stuff.
There's anything that you could be tuning into, but you've decided to give us a listen, give us a watch, and we appreciate you. And certainly, if you get a moment, give us a like or subscribe, leave a comment, share it with whomever that you might think would really enjoy the show. We greatly appreciate that. And, I certainly can't be doing this show without Todd. We're two peas in a pod. It's great, doing this with you, Todd. And, I love it. And I know the fans love it. I know the followers love it. All the
And
fans.
whether they love it or not, we're going to be here, right? We like doing this.
That's right.
It's a good way for us to catch up with each other's lives and stuff. So yeah, we're
not going anywhere.
We're doing this regardless. Yeah.
So it's been fun. It's been great. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in. We definitely will have another fun episode next time. But until then, have fun, spread those positive vibes, spread the high fives, just, be the best version of yourself out there. And we'll see you in the next episode.
High five.
All right. Take care. Boom. Peace.
All right.